So a lot of you, after watching my last episode, were excited or at least interested in the fact that there was a TV series in production focusing on the life of Brigitte Macron. So obviously, I'm here to let you guys know what's happening with it, what is it going to be exactly, and of course, when are we going to be able to see it. I will also show you more proof based on the photographs from the past that Jean-Michel and Brigitte could be the same person. Insane proof. I will play with ChatGPT as well, okay? If you are watching this video, you are either already obsessed with Brigitte Macron's story thanks to Candace Owens' docuseries, or you are just discovering what's happening. If you haven't seen the previous video I did on this topic, make sure to check it out. I talk about things I've noticed while watching the series and things I found through my own research. I received thousands of comments and messages with questions from you guys, with new theories, even with corrections of what I was saying or how I was saying it. So I'm here to address it all as well as I can. And I need to insert a little disclaimer here. None of the theories or information about Brigitte Macron's transition are confirmed, set in stone, validated, 100% locked. But it is backed up by research of multiple French journalists like Xavier Poussaud, global political commentators like Candace Owens. The revelations of this research combined create an appealing case, a believable one. It actually makes us all think, what else is hidden in plain sight? The only thing that was confirmed multiple times is that Brigitte met Emmanuel Macron when he was 14 years old. This is a fact. So what is Brigitte Macron being accused of right now? Let's just make a little list. This accusation is not some crazy conspiracy theory. It is an actual fact that Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron met when he was only 14 years old and she was 39. The media romanticized their relationship, calling it a love story. Media tiptoe around it, not to accidentally call it as it is. I will show an example of it to you in a little bit. The second accusation is being a man. Yes, this is a huge controversy, and it's been going on for years now. A claim that Brigitte is a biological man. I mentioned it in the last episode that if this is true, they should have come clean 2-3 years ago. Brigitte could become an LGBTQ hero with a rainbow cape, but apparently it's not that easy. I mentioned that one of the reasons they are not coming clean is the risk of ruining the reputation of the rainbow community. I had comments like this one coming my way. So are you trying to say that straight men are not predators, or straight women for that matter? Because of course there's trans people who are predators, just don't get too caught up in thinking that and not looking at the man sleeping next to you or the man in your family. I'm not trying to defend anyone here. I just don't want anyone getting too caught up in this focusing solely on trans people as predators, when the truth is, it is 50-50 as far as gays and straights go. The dad is the same. So if you're going to look at one, you get a gist. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's tiring. There is always one, right, that makes it about themselves or feels personally victimized by things said about others. First of all, no, I'm not trying to say that straight men are not predators. I'm also not saying that only LGBTQ people are. I do agree with the last statement that you really can't trust anybody when it comes to your kids. You all know I'm against posting your children online, and I spread awareness about all the dangers out there waiting for our kids, be it predators in the family, online, or at school. Oh, did I mention Brigitte Macron used to be Emmanuel's teacher when they met when he was 14? I did? Good. But the risk of admitting that Brigitte is a biological man is even greater than that. Denise Mourier commented, one of the main issues raised is the validity of marriage with Emmanuel Macron. Marriage for all in France has been valid since 2013. So if Brigitte Macron is trans, the 2007 marriage is outlawed. All official advantages acquired as First Lady become fraudulent. The risk for them is therefore quite enormous. That is absolutely crazy. That lands us at the third accusation that could have legal repercussions for the presidential couple: identity theft. Because if Brigitte was in fact Jean-Michel, then that means she stole the identity of her sister that existed because records of it were found by Xavier Poussaud. Yes, the risk of admitting that Brigitte is a man is huge. Anyway, there are few main theories as to who the real Brigitte Macron or Brigitte Trogneux, apparently, okay, so someone commented that I'm saying it wrong, that in French it should be Trogneux, not Trogneux, how I was saying it. I'll try my best to say it correctly. I am most probably not going to succeed. Please forgive me.
Je m'appelle! Mais poupou!
So the first theory is about Jean-Michel, Brigitte's alleged brother, from this picture. We analyzed this photo very thoroughly last time, but You guys requested to show you the ears, and I was curious myself. So here it is, side by side of Jean-Michel and Brigitte with an updo, showcasing her ears. It is the same ear. I don't care what anybody says. This is exactly the same ear. Here, let's do the side by side. So what I would guess is that Brigitte had her ears surgically clipped. A lot of people get this surgery when their ears are protruding, and I think this might have been the case here. And there is, of course, some sagging because of her age, but other than that, it is the same ear. But no, the media will tell us that this is ridiculous.
Merde.
But ears don't lie. They are like fingerprints and can be used for identification purposes. But if this still doesn't convince you, let's try a different set of pictures. We have the 18-year-old Jean-Michel Trogneux and current picture of Brigitte Macron. Here it is. Like I said, I'm sure Brigitte's ears had the intervention of a surgeon, but just imagine if the guy on the left, Jean-Michel, had his ears fixed. It would look exactly the same, like the one on the right. I went on ChatGPT just for fun, and I asked if the ear could belong to the same person. I wrote, could the ear on the left belong to the same person as on the right? Difference of 50 years in between and plastic surgery to make the ear not protrude. I know my writing lacks sophistication here, but I really didn't think anything useful would come out of it. But here is what Uncle GPT wrote. Outer and inner ear ridges, 70% match. It says the overall structure is quite similar. Though the inner contours have slight changes, aging and surgery could explain minor differences. Ear protrusion, 80% match, okay? The reduction in protrusion is expected with an ear pinning procedure, which aligns with a 50-year gap. And then lobe shape and thickness, 65% match. Piercing and accessories, obviously, I wouldn't expect anything higher here because obviously the male Jean-Michel didn't have any piercings. But then skin texture and aging effects, 85% match. So we're getting a match between 70 to 85%, guys, okay? It's insane. I know this is ChatGPT and it can be wrong, but it is pretty interesting to have it confirmed by AI. I wanted to test how accurate ChatGPT would be with this, so I pulled some celebrity images. You see Will Smith, for example, and he has very distinctive shape of ears. Here he is as a kid, and here he is as an adult. We can see the side by side as well. And I wrote to ChatGPT, could these ears belong to the same person with pictures taken 30 to 40 years apart? What's the chance in percentage? I know the picture in this screenshot looks cropped, but that's what it does. It minimizes it in the window. When you click on it, the full picture appears. So I didn't post a cropped picture, okay? Anyway, here's the answer that I got. Probability estimate. Given the similarity in general shape, but some uncertainties due to image quality and angle differences, the probability that these two ears belong to the same person is approximately 50 to 70%. 50 to 70%, and it is the same person. I mean, you can definitely recognize him just by his ears, okay? They are really distinctive. That is his fingerprint. And still, it got only 50 to 70%. Brigitte's and Jean-Michel's, even though the ear was clipped by a surgeon, gets up to 85% probability that it is the same person. I mean, come on. But to really drive my point home, here are pictures of Ariana Grande and Meghan Markle side by side. Why them? Well, I was trying to find ears of two different people that looked similar, okay? Just to make it harder for ChatGPT. So here are their pictures. And this is what I wrote, the same message. Could these ears belong to the same person with pictures taken 20, 30 years apart? What's the chance in percentage? And here is the answer. Probability estimate, there are some similarities in structure, but also notable differences, likely due to aging and image quality. Given these factors, the probability that these ears belong to the same person is around 50 to 70%. Strangers' ears can receive a rating of 50 to 70%, and ears of obviously the same person can receive the same rating. AI is up to 70% sure that those are the same people, just older. But then we upload pictures of ears of Jean-Michel and Brigitte Macron, which by the way were also surgically altered, and we get 85%. This is crazy. Obviously, playing with ChatGPT is not a bulletproof evidence of anything. At least it's fun, okay? But there were some comments on my previous video saying, but she has blue eyes. The boy in the picture has brown eyes. Well, Brigitte's blue eyes could be contact lenses or eye surgery. And I say it because her pictures from when she was younger show her with brown eyes. Here are a few examples. This is the first one. The second one, a little bit clearer. Look at this one. These are dark eyes. Okay? So yes, there are countless similarities between Jean-Michel and Brigitte. The hairline, the nose, the dimple, the chin shape. To all of us, they do look like the same person. Someone who transitions, had some work done and aged. But let's get back to the theories that surround this case. Okay, so first one is Jean-Michel Trogneux transitioning, starting to present as a woman and becoming Brigitte. Second theory circulating the internet is that Brigitte is actually Emmanuel Macron's father. Mind you, this was never stated as a fact. It came from the fact that Jean-Jacques, son of Jean-Michel Trogneux, looks incredibly similar to Emmanuel Macron. So if Brigitte is Jean-Michel, then Jean-Jacques is her son. If the son looks like Emmanuel so much, then who says him and Jacques aren't brothers? It sounds crazy, but again, there is no limit of crazy in this whole case. However, Candice Owens in the last episode of the series also mentioned that Emmanuel Macron's mother had a brother who, like everyone else in this family, conveniently had no pictures taken through all his life and died as soon as his person might have been considered relevant to the story. It happens with every single person of interest in this family. As Rachel Zegler would say,
weird.
Emmanuel's mother, who's Brigitte's age, by the way, was a doctor helping transgender people get their new identities. Could she have helped Brigitte transition? Could Jean-Michel, Brigitte, and Emmanuel's uncle be all the same person, just with multiple identities? Could Emmanuel's uncle be his father? Could he also be his wife? Are we living in Matrix? And this would make for a third theory in this case. The fourth theory comes actually from one of you guys, and it is equally possible and insane at the same time. Altra Tara wrote, "My own theory is crazier and integrates the resemblance between Emmanuel and his wife's supposed nephew. Rothschild sperm donation, surrogate mother, a cast of fake parents, a neuroscientist, his father, who could be handling his MKUltra programming, and a high-ranking social security affiliated doctor, his mom, who also accompanies sex transitioning candidates in getting a new life and identity, a supervisor, Jean-Michel Trogneux, who falls in love with the subject and will transition to spend happily ever after with him. Some investigations show resemblance between Emmanuel and men from the Rothschild family." So again, her theory is that Emmanuel has been conceived through IVF, Rothschild family sperm donation, insemination of a surrogate mother. They casted fake parents in the roles of Emmanuel's parents. The father is a neuroscientist handling MKUltra program. Just to quickly explain, MKUltra was a human experimentation program designed and undertaken by the US Central Intelligence Agency to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. Okay, so now that we're all caught up. So they cast a fake dad who's a neuroscientist and a mom who's a high-ranking social security affiliated doctor who helped trans individuals get new identities. In this crazy scenario, Jean-Michel would be the supervisor of the project who falls in love with the subject, Emmanuel Macron. So in order for him to live his happily ever after with that child, he gets help from everyone in the project, transitions, and becomes Brigitte. And the rest is history. This is a sci-fi movie based on real events I would watch. You can't blame anyone for those ideas. As far-fetched as they seem, there are few contributing factors based in facts that let our imaginations run wild. First and foremost, again, Brigitte did start her relationship with Emmanuel when she was 39, although if she was actually Jean-Michel, that would make her 47 years old. And he was only 14. It's a fact. So if you can get away with that and spin the story of forbidden love, romantic narrative, a beautiful love story, you can pretty much get away with anything. Well, French film production company will attempt to tell this story in a TV series. That's right, BBC wrote that the project is a documentary, but now we hear it will be a TV series about Brigitte, and they are in process of choosing a cast. AOL wrote, France's First Lady Brigitte Macron to be subject of biopic series from Gaumont. France's First Lady Brigitte Macron will be the subject of biopic series produced by French mini-major Gaumont. The 6-part show is being penned by Bénédicte Charles and Olivier Pouponneau. I think, who previously teamed on the thriller series SH0CKING. You guys will be correcting me with my pronunciation, so. Titled Brigitte, une femme libre. Brigitte, a free woman. Too free. The series will chart the life of French President Emmanuel Macron's wife. Gaumont is keeping the plot of the show under wraps and will be announcing the cast in the next few weeks. Brigitte Macron's life story surely provides plenty of material for a TV series. She met Emmanuel Macron while teaching theater at the Catholic high school province in Amiens. Macron was then 15 years old. No, wrong, 14. While she was 40, nope, 39 or 47. And married with 3 children. True. In a recent interview with Paris Match, Brigitte Macron talked about her anxiety over their age gap, saying that her head was in a mess after she fell in love with him because such a young boy was crippling and she feared he would want to be with someone his own age. The relationship sparked a scandal and led to Brigitte divorcing her husband while Emmanuel was sent to a boarding school in Paris. The pair eventually got married in 2007 when Emmanuel was 29. You see how they are spinning the story? Because first of all, her husband, they separated in 91, but actually divorced in 2006. So Brigitte and Emmanuel could marry in 2007. But did you notice what she said? She had anxiety over her relationship with the child, not because she might have caused psychological damage to him, but because he could have been attracted to a girl or a boy his own age. How disgusting. Her head was in a mess, she says. That's a nice way to frame the fact that The article continues. If I did not make that choice, I would have missed out on my life. Brigitte Macron told Elle France in 2017. I had a lot of happiness with my children and at the same time felt I had to live this love, as Prévert used to say, to be fully happy. Charles told Le Figaro that the serious, touchy subject caused her and Poponu to be stuck at first. Touchy subject. Yeah, we wouldn't want to make Brigitte Macron uncomfortable by calling out her crimes. No. Then it says, we had to overcome this to propose a fiction. Brigitte Macron is a fascinating character and we want to tackle it in a Romanesque, almost melodramatic way because of the romantic dimension of her destiny. What the actual... You cannot put a romantic spin on a child story. That's why they can't do it in the form of a documentary, because it would be impossible to tell the truth and make it sound acceptable by our society today. They have to turn it into biopic and include some fiction and dramatization of the events to paint Brigitte in a better light. Another article I found from RFI writes, quoting Brigitte Macron, which I thought was quite hilarious to mention here. I don't feel as if I'm the first lady, which is a translation of an American expression, a figure of speech, which does not appeal to me in the least. When I hear people say it, I always want to look behind me and say, who are they talking about? I am not the first lady, nor the last, nor even a lady. I am simply Brigitte Macron. We all agree here, okay? Not even a lady. But there are many comments I receive that say, why people don't mind their business? There? Where? Grammar is important, guys, please. Write correctly. So what? Let them be happy, another one says. Who cares as long as they are happy? And another one, why is this anybody's business? Oh my goodness. No, no, no. We are not going to leave it down. This person confessed to grooming a child and nothing ever happened to them. Don't deserve happily ever after. And if you disagree with that, maybe you should have your hard drive checked. I'll bring the same analogy as last time. When you see a child bride, do you also say, so what? As long as they are happy, it's fine. No? The last thing I want to address in this video is the type of comments I got like this one. No, you didn't. Candace Owens has done all your work for you and you're just using her information. I not once took credit for the work Candace Owens has done on her documentary. On the contrary, I told you guys how obsessed I am with it, how we all should pay attention to what she's talking about. I'm in Europe, I'm Polish, I live in Cyprus, I have family living in France and Germany. It concerns us here, believe me. And when I was watching Candace's series, my own theories started to form. Then I started conducting my own research. And I am simply talking to you guys about it, not trying to take any credit for whatever was done by Candace and her team. Someone came to my defense, though, with this comment. What's wrong with that? Candace used Xavier Poussaud, and I forgot the other lady's journalist name, investigative work as research material, and Candace repeatedly credited them. Kasia did the same and also credited Candace and Xavier. Journalists do the journalism and we, the public, look into it. Thank you for the coverage, Kasia. Mainstream media lies and hides the truth, so it's the independent content creators, journalists, and others who should spread the information as much as possible. I don't believe the mainstream media anymore. I mean, I showed you articles last time, guys. I showed you the headlines. They're all like, oh my God, fake news about Brigitte. Fake news, fake news, fake news. They are one-sided, unfortunately. We're all in this together. As you see, I read your comments and I try to answer all of them. So as usual, I want to hear from you guys. Asking you again, are Jean-Michel Trogneux and Brigitte Macron the same person? Which of the theories sound the most compelling to you? Or maybe you can share your own. Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like and share buttons, and of course subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications bell to never miss another Daily Freddo episode. And for even more content, follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Daily Freddo. That's all for today. Have a good one.